In the year 1979, an unexpected event shook the foundations of the Islamic world. A Salafi preacher, accompanied by his followers, stormed the holy Grand Mosque in Mecca. He turned the sacred sanctuary into a battlefield. With intense conviction, he declared,
"By God, this is the truth, and God willing, victory will come. Victory will come."
This is the story of the Siege of Mecca, a tale of faith, power, and rebellion that changed the course of modern Islamic history. Before we begin, if you value real stories from history, please like and subscribe. It helps us keep these voices alive. It was dawn prayer at the Grand Mosque in Mecca, the holiest site in Islam. November 20th, 1979. The sacred days following the Hajj pilgrimage. As the call to prayer echoed across the marble courtyard, thousands of pilgrims gathered in peace, unaware of the conspiracy unfolding in their midst. Few noticed the handful of coffins wheeled in under the cover of night. Among the crowd stood Juhayman al-Otaybi, ex-Saudi National Guard, now a radical Salafi preacher. Beside him, 200 armed followers, hidden in plain sight. Suddenly, chaos erupted. Juhayman's men shoved the imam aside, seized the microphone, and took over the loudspeakers. The coffins were opened, not the dead, but rifles, handguns, ammunition, panic, screaming. Pilgrims ran, gates locked. Snipers climbed minarets. The Grand Mosque had fallen. A place of peace was now a fortress under siege. But how did it come to this? The 1970s transformed Saudi Arabia. Oil wealth, modern life, Western culture. To many, it felt like a drift away from faith. Juhayman al-Otaybi rose from this descent. As Salafi preacher and former soldier, he believed Judgment Day was near. Salvation, he said, lay with the Mahdi, a prophesied redeemer. In secret, Juhayman built a loyal force, ready to die. He chose the holy Kaaba itself as his battlefield. As rebels seized the minarets, they announced,
"The Mahdi is here. He walks among us. He will restore justice and purity."
The man declared as the Mahdi was Muhammad Abdullah al-Qahtani. He came from a conservative background, and his deep religious devotion made him the perfect candidate for Juhayman's vision. Pilgrims, many from Africa, Asia, and beyond, stood in shock. Some whispered prayers, others shouted, "Allahu Akbar," believing they were witnessing prophecy unfold. But awe quickly turned to horror. The mosque's gates were locked. No one was allowed to leave. The sacred sanctuary was now surrounded by guns, barricades, and fear. In the capital, Riyadh, the royal family was caught completely off guard. King Khalid was ill. The crown prince was abroad. Initial reports dismissed the takeover as a minor disturbance. They were wrong. At 7 a.m., police patrols sent to restore order walked straight into a massacre. Gunfire erupted. Then, silence. The rebels, many with military training, had established sniper nests in the minarets. Within hours, the National Guard sealed off every road leading to the Haram. The first units were cut down as they approached. This wasn't a skirmish. It was the kingdom's greatest internal crisis. Inside the Haram, silence. No prayer, no movement. One witness said,
The Haram was shut down. No adhan, no tawaf, no prayer. It was terrifying.
Rebels fortified every rooftop and chamber. Every advance brought death. Islamic law forbids violence in the Grand Mosque, and a fatwa was needed to proceed. By day 2, the Saudi government claimed the situation was under control. But on the ground, the truth was very different. Artillery struck minarets. Helicopters circled but saw little. Thousands trapped. Rebels in control. The high ground was theirs. Streets outside the Haram. Chaos. Bodies lay where they fell. By day 3, this was no longer a standoff. It was a bloody war of attrition. Then, on day 4, the kingdom knew the crisis could no longer be hidden. It was Friday. The weekly prayer from Mecca, normally broadcast live across the nation, was silent. In its place, a sermon from a different mosque. The outside world finally understood. This was a catastrophe. Forced to go public, the government made a statement. And then, the moment that changed everything. The senior Islamic scholars issued their fatwa. Permission was granted. The military response was overwhelming. 2,000 soldiers mobilized. Tanks breached the mosque. Juhayman's men fought with fury. Firebombs lit the marble corridors. The battle for Mecca escalated. By day 5, Saudi forces had secured the upper levels. From the outside, the guns had gone quiet. It seemed the siege was over. But beneath the marble floors, a hidden war was still raging. The remaining rebels had retreated underground, into the dark, suffocating basements. They lit carpets and tires ablaze, filling the tunnels with choking smoke, soaking cloths in water to press against their faces. They prepared for the final stand. Then came a devastating blow to the rebels' cause. Their Mahdi, Muhammad al-Qahtani, was killed in the fighting. The prophecy was broken, yet Juhayman refused to surrender. For over a week, his men held the underground. Hostages, dwindling ammo, no escape. Desperate, the Saudi leadership sought clandestine help. From French GIGN commandos, elite counter-terrorism specialists. But bound by the prohibition against non-Muslims entering Mecca, the French advisors trained a special Saudi unit at a secure location. Together, they devised a new plan. The weapon: gas. The goal: incapacitate, not destroy. Saudi troops drilled holes through the marble floor above. One by one, gas canisters were dropped into the darkness below. Day 15. The resistance finally broke. Through the smoke and silence, Juhayman and his remaining men emerged, starving, choking, defeated, hands raised, in surrender. At 1:30 a.m., an official announcement was made by the Crown Prince. The Grand Mosque was secured. The siege was over. In the mosque, Juhayman was captured. He and 61 followers were publicly executed across the kingdom. The Kaaba remained untouched, but the mosque bore scars. Bullet holes, shattered walls, blood on marble. 127 soldiers and police dead. 117 rebels killed. 26 pilgrims lost. Many say the real toll was higher. Muslims across the world watched in disbelief. That the Grand Mosque became a war zone. That blood was shed beside the Kaaba. This was more than military. It was spiritual trauma. Juhayman's vision echoed for decades in extremist ideologies. And in a twist, the Saudi state enforced stricter Islam, mirroring some of his demands. But recently, the kingdom shifted. Reform, openness, a new identity. Still, a question remains. What happens when faith is seized by extremism? History tells us the battle over faith never ends quietly. Like and subscribe for more untold chapters. Your support helps keep these voices alive.